Excellent. Okay, so we're going to do grief movement now. And I have been so taken with this. It's been so powerful and helpful. And I thought it would be nice to kind of do this in the middle. So Kathy is one of our certified caregiving consultants, educators, and facilitators. And tell us about grief movement and what you've learned about it before you move us into the actual movements, Kathy.
Sure. Well, one of the so I became very interested in grief, and I became a grief support specialist. And then I discovered grief yoga, which is organized by Paul Denniston, and he offers grief movement classes, which are basically a series of exercises involving breath, sound, and movement to try to release some of the stress that you might be experiencing, of course, but also that as an alternative to talking about it. Like sometimes you just can't get the words to talk about it. So maybe you want to do a movement or a breath exercise or something to try to calm yourself or to express something or some emotion or to comfort yourself. So we're actually going to go through a few exercises. I think the presentation said from sadness to love. And so what I'm going to do today is take you through a few exercises from relieving stress to just feeling more powerful and loving in your situation and celebrating the love that you had with your loved one. So are we ready?
Well, I think we're ready. So tell us what you need us to do, and then
you'll probably need to put your food down if you're eating, but so I invite you to put so for the first thing we do, yes.
What I was going to say, oh my gosh, I forgot to record, but we are recording. I forgot to pause the recording. So keep going.
Excellent. Okay. And I just want to say in advance, we've been having some internet interruptions, even though I tried to go to a stable place. So if I disappear, I'll try to come back. Just keep breathing while I'm gone. First, I just want to say a couple of things. One, if any of the movements cause you pain, please don't do them. Please only do what's within your range zone of comfort and your limitations. And also, if you don't want to be on camera for this portion, please feel free to not be on camera. There will be opportunities to make sound. Feel free to mute if you want. It's not important that you be seen, but if you're more comfortable enjoying it when you're not seen, then that's fine. So I invite you to plant your feet firmly on the ground and your sit bones firmly in your chair. Sit up tall as if there were a string coming out the top of your head. And the first thing we're going to do is just start breathing in and out. So breathe in and breathe out. And again, in and out. And sometimes this can be really helpful if you feel stressed, just in calming yourself by breathing. So we're going to breathe in and out. We're going to do a counted breath, which can help you to focus more on the breathing. So let's breathe into the count of 4 and out to the count of 6. So let's breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I invite you to join me in putting your hands on your heart. I'd like to start this exercise, this session, with a dedication to the person that you're grieving, to the person that you love, that you miss, that you're grieving. So you can close your eyes if you're comfortable and just breathe in and out. And just think about that person. Try to create a picture in your mind of that person on a day when they were happy and healthy. And maybe you were together and having a great time. And think about the way they looked at you and all the love they looked at you with. And just hold that memory in your heart as you breathe in and out. And if you'd like to dedicate this session to them, feel free to say their name out loud if you'd like. Just hold that vision for a minute. When you're ready, just open your eyes. So I know you're ready. Excellent. We're going to start with a little warm up. So the first thing we're going to start with is a shoulder release. There's a lot of people hold tension in their shoulders. I know I do. And so I find this really helpful for me. I hope you will too. One of the exercises is just really centers right here on these shoulder muscles. So I invite you to make loose fists with your hands and just scrunch up your shoulders as tight as you can to your ears. Breathe in and then breathe out and let it go. Let's do that one more time. Make your fists and scrunch up your shoulders and breathe out. And you can do this anytime. You could do it as fast or as slow, but let's just do it one more time. Breathe in and breathe out. And you can roll your shoulders a little bit if that feels good after that. Sometimes people carry a lot of tension in their jaw as well. So I'm going to show you something for jaw release. So basically, I invite you to put your hands together again, clasp your hands together. And what we're going to do is shake our hands while making sound and try to relax your jaw. So we breathe in. As you breathe out, shake your hands, relax your jaw, make a sound if you want. Let's breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. You can shake your hands out after that. The third thing I'm going to ask you to do is a torso. Well, we call it the Sufi Grind, but I'm not sure why, but basically you're just moving your torso around in circles. A lot of people like to do neck circles like this to release tension. I tend not to do them because my neck is a place where I obviously hold tension, but it's a real sore spot for me, so I don't do it. But the Sufi Grind is sort of like doing the same thing, but with your torso. So I invite you to lean forward and then lean to whichever side is more comfortable. Lean back and then lean to the other side and lean to the front. So you're drawing circles with your torso. And again, you can go as fast or as slow as you want. Just keep going around in circles. And after this next circle, I'm going to switch sides. You can go whichever way you want, but if you'd like to switch sides in the middle, you can go back. And this helps to loosen your spine. Often when we're sitting a long time, when we're grieving, we tend to stiffen up some, we tend to sit sometimes, and it can really help to get some movement going in your spine. Here. So we can come back to center. And I'm also just going to invite you to do a little stretching to the side with me. So I invite you to put your left hand on your left knee, put your right hand up in the air, and just stretch over whatever's comfortable. And come back to center and lift the other hand and stretch over that way, the opposite direction. Feel that stretch. Excellent. So now we're going to move into some of the exercises that are available for basically moving through the stress, moving through grief, moving through pain. And the first one that I am going to show you is clearing the way. So again, we bring our hands up. You can think about what you want. If you were clearing a room, what would you clear the room with? Would it be a broom? Would it be a feather duster? Would it be a sword, depending on your mood? What would you want to clear your way with? Maybe you're clearing your way through a thicket of weeds. Maybe you're just clearing the stale air out of the room, whatever. But I invite you to think of what you're clearing with and take your right hand, bring it over to your left shoulder, and then just bring it across your body and clear the room. Let's bring the opposite hand to the opposite shoulder and just clear the room on that side. And you can combine breathing with this by breathing in when you bring your hand up, breathing out when you clear the room. Breathing in when you bring your hand up, breathing out when you clear the room. So you're just clearing some space for yourself here. Let's do this one more time. Clearing out everything that's in your way right now. Great. Next, we're going to break the chains that are holding us. If you feel like there are things that are holding you down, that are constricting you, that are keeping you from action, for example, this might be a useful one. So I invite you to bring your hands in front of you and make fists, stacking your arms on top of each other. And we're going to breathe in. And as we breathe out, we'll bring our elbows down to our side, and you can make a sound there if you want also. So let's breathe in, breathe out. Ha. Breathe in, breathe out. Ha. One more time. Breathe in, breathe out. Ha. Shake out your hands. Here's one that's really good for anger, and it's called punching out. And there may be a lot of times that you just want to punch at the world. You want to punch somebody. There may be people you're angry at. Could be your caree, could be doctors who didn't give you the right diagnosis, could be any situation that's frustrating. So we'll bring our hands in fists. We're doing a lot of fists, I say. Bring our hands in fists, and we're going to breathe in. And as we breathe out, we're going to punch as many times as we can with our right hand. So let's breathe in and breathe out and just punch until you've exhausted that breath. And then bring it back in. Another breath in, other hand, and punch till the breath is exhausted. Again, you might think of who you're punching, or you just might be punching. Let's just breathe in. One more time with each side, and breathe out. Let's do the other hand one more time. Breathe in, breathe out. All right, excellent. You can shake your hands out, bring them down to your lap. This next one is good. If you have questions, you're wondering why. Why did this happen to my caree? Why was I the caregiver? Why did this interrupt my life? Why is my life the way it is? And there may not be a lot of people you can ask that question to, but you can ask that question here. So I invite you to bring your hands up and just ask, why? Why? And you might want to direct the why to a person or just to the universe. Why? Why? Some people might direct it upward. Why? Why did this happen? Why did you let this happen? Why? Why? You can keep going with this. Why? As long as you want. Why? Let's do a couple more. Why? Why? One more. Why? Sometimes I get on a roll. Why? But you are entitled to ask that question, and this is a good way you can ask it. For our next one, we're going to think about regrets. And we might have a beautiful garden where everything is great, but we might have those things in the garden that we regret, or that might be the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And those are the weeds in the garden. And we're going to pull those weeds out of the garden. So I invite you to find a weed in your garden. You can name that weed, or it can be a nameless weed. It could be a specific regret you have. It could be a specific, I should have done this that you have. Grab onto that weed, and pull that weed and toss it over your shoulder. With the other hand, just keep going. Grab that weed, toss it over your shoulder. As I said, they might have specific names on those weeds. They might be specific challenges you faced. They might be things that you wish you had done. Why didn't I take them to the doctor sooner? Why didn't doctor give me an answer? Why? Again, we're back to why. Why did that happen? It might be, a family member who wasn't helping that you just want to toss out of of your garden. It might be anything. You can just pull those out and toss them away. Get them out of your way. You don't need them anymore. You don't need them in your life. You don't need them in your way. Let's do another round. And then we'll stop. Shake that out. But some people weed those gardens for hours, so do it as long as you need to. The other thing that sometimes people feel is the need for forgiveness. And this might not only be asking forgiveness of your loved one, but it might also be forgiving yourself. Because you know that you did the best job you could at the time. Sometimes we walk around and we feel like we could have done better, but I hope in our hearts that we know that we did the best we could. So we're going to ask either the universe or ourselves or a specific person to forgive us. And we'll do this with breathing. So I invite you to put your hands out. The movement is that we're going to raise our hands up and breathe in, flip our hands over and put our hands down and breathe out. And I invite you to join me with this language if you'd like. When you breathe in and lift your arms up, I love you, I'm sorry. And then flip your hands over, please forgive me, thank you. So once again, I love you, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, thank you. And again, I love you, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, thank you. And the breathing on that again is breathing in as you're lifting up, breathing out as you're going down. Okay. So now let's think about, now that we've forgiven ourselves, we've forgiven everybody, we've forgiven ourselves. We need to think about giving ourselves some love. So just put your arms on your hands on your upper arms, give yourself a squeeze. You can knead your arms if you want. Close your eyes if you want. Just give yourself a hug. Remind yourself that, that of the love that you have for yourself, of the love in your life, and just try to feel that for a minute while you breathe in and out. And sometimes we find, I know we've talked a lot this morning about loss and losing parents, and sometimes there's the inner child in you that still needs some parenting and still needs some love, or the little child in you who's scared and really needs some comfort. So I invite you to cradle your arms as if you were holding an infant. Just rock them back and forth. And give that infant your love. You can tell that infant you love them if you'd like. You can just think about loving that infant. And if that infant is your inner child, just tell that child that they're safe, you've got them, and that you love them. Okay. Now we want to make sure that we gather up all the love in the universe that we can for that child. So the next exercise is about gathering the love. So I invite you to put your hand on your heart and think about all the people in the universe who love you, all the people who support you, that the places where you get your support, the places where you feel good, and just reach your hand out and gather all of those into your heart. I'll try to keep this on camera. Gather all those into your heart. Just keep going. Think, is that your relatives? Is that your neighbors? Is that a specific neighbor? Is that something that comforts you, like words or music or whatever? Whatever makes you feel love in the universe, just gather that right in and hold on to that. And when you feel like you've gathered enough in, just breathe in. Breathe it all in. Just hold on to it for a minute. Just in case there's still anything lingering out there that's bothering you, you can also just gather that up and toss it over your shoulder. Gather in the love, but toss the rest away. You know, those comments that aren't making you feel good, or those, you know, people who aren't as supportive as you'd like, you can just throw all that away for right now, because you're just focusing on the love. And if you please bring your hands to in front of you, we're going to do a little breathing meditation, hoping that we can bring happiness, peacefulness, and contentment into our lives. So we're going to breathe in. The motion is breathing in and then circling yourself, coming back together. Breathing out too, yes. Thank you for those, to those of you who breathe out. Yeah. Breathing in and breathing out. And as you do it, I invite you to say out loud or in your head, may I be peaceful, may I be happy, may I be content. May I be peaceful, may I be happy, may I be content. And one more. May I be peaceful, may I be happy, may I be content. There may also be times when you feel like you just want to like take a symbolic shower and have like a clean slate to work with, you know, in terms of what you're feeling. So I invite you to think of your hands, put your hands in front of you and think of your hands as being filled with some kind of cleansing water. And take a breath in, take a breath out, and just start at the top and very slowly, you can think of this as blessing yourself or cleansing yourself. Like just move that water down over you to give you a fresh start. Let's try that one more time. We'll start with a little bowl. Breathe in. You should breathe out, just bring it down. I'm going to bring you back to the bowl now for a minute. And we're going to engage in an exercise of appreciation for ourselves. So I invite you to close your eyes and think of a time when you were somewhere where you were peaceful and happy and content. A time that was really happy, could have been on vacation, on a beach, wherever your special place is. Think about how you felt in that moment, whether it was warm or cool, whether it was sunny or showery, whether you were alone or someone was with you. But just try to capture in your mind the image of that moment and the feeling that you had at that moment. And when you have a good picture in your head of what that looked like, that memory looked like, say yes, and just bring that memory to your heart. And breathe it in and out. And when you're ready, bring your hands back out again. So we're going to ask the universe you're going to make a bowl and we're going to ask the universe to give you another memory. This time I'm asking you to think of a memory that may have involved a time, let's talk about a time when you were caregiving or and when you felt like things were going really well and you were really proud of what you were doing. You were really happy with some small victory you'd had, something really wonderful that you could hold on to where you went, I did my best and it worked out that day. So close your eyes and try to visualize that memory, visualize the person, visualize you, visualize how proud of yourself you were when everything went perfectly. And when you have that memory firmly implanted in your mind, say yes. And bring that memory into your heart. Let's breathe that one in and in for a few minutes, a few seconds. And when you're ready, I invite you to put your hands out one last time. And we're going to go back to where we started and think about your caree or the person that you lost. And think of a memory when the two of you were spending time together, when you had a wonderful time. It's a memory that you savor and that you go back to to comfort yourself, and just think of what that day was like, how all your senses were involved, what the sound was, the smell was, the sight, touch, and just really implant that memory firmly in your brain. And when you have that memory, say yes, and just bring that right into your heart, and close your eyes and breathe it in for a few seconds. And remember, those memories will always live in your heart and will always be available to you, anytime you choose to bring them up. So I'm going to invite you to just give yourself a little hug again. If you want, you can work on your shoulders or work on your upper arms or work on whatever seems to need attention right now. Just close your eyes and think about any place in your body where you might be holding stress. And just breathe in, breathe out, see if you can relieve that stress. Maybe it's your upper body, maybe it's your lower back, maybe could be your feet, could be your mind, could be anywhere. Just breathe in, breathe out. Thank you for joining me in this practice.
I'd love to hear what you guys thought. And I know, Ashley, you had wondered about a copy of the exercises, and this will be part of the archive. So you'll be able to watch these with Kathy whenever you feel like, I need some movement, some yoga. So Ashley, what was your favorite part?
I really like the punching thing. But I really did also like the water,
Oh,
to
so beautiful.
restart. Because I mean, there's so many times during our days that we just need to reset, and it's like a really symbolic way of doing it. I like that.
Great. I'm glad. You can also, by the way, just put a pillow on your lap and do the punching, which can be useful.
I'm wondering if someone has an emotion that is coming up for them that they'd love an idea for a movement around. Oh gosh, I actually have one. And this is an emotion we haven't really talked about. And so I'm putting you on the spot, Kathy, and if you don't have it, that's okay. But I'm wondering around jealousy or envy, meaning we're in a place of loss and we might be surrounded by people that seem to be in a place of abundance. And I'm wondering if there's a movement around the wanting we might have, or the jealousy or envy. If anybody has a better word, please let me know. That's what I'm thinking of.
I think that's a great word. And I'm trying to think of I think any of the pushing away exercises might be good for that. But, also, yeah, I'm just trying to think. There was another one that I didn't show, which was a pushing away exercise, which just really just involves just breathing in and just pushing things away, pushing away the jealousy and the envy. I'm not sure that quite captures what you're looking for, but you can push it away.
I love the pushing away around worries. I'm going to push away these worries for a few minutes. I'm going to push them away. And I love the weeding of the worries too. I'm pulling out my worries and I'm throwing them away. And I'm wondering if there's a way. So I think of a movement around jealousy is to be the opposite of jealousy. And I wonder if there's a movement around receiving for us. Oh, go
Well,
ahead.
I was just thinking that could be the, you know, bringing in the love thing. It's like just bringing in,
Oh,
you know, bringing in the love for yourself, because really if or just actually appreciating. I'm trying to think of something around appreciating, like appreciating your situation, even though it's difficult, and just really let me think. If
yeah,
there's something around.
and
around-
I'll keep talking as you keep thinking. And
all
then,
right. Right.
yes. So Regina is sharing this idea that when you are out in public and you will see couples, so you'll see a marriage and you think, I'm missing my marriage. So maybe the word is around missing. Maybe jealousy and envy inspire the feeling, but it's really a feeling of missing, of being without, a lacking.
Mhm. I almost wonder if it would be something like doing what we did for the I am content, but with different words, like I am whole, I am whole, I am complete, I am okay, even
Yeah.
just
Okay.
that kind of a thing.
Yeah. So the three words that you had us say initially were, I am,
Peaceful, content, and happy.
okay.
So it could be I am whole, I am complete, I am I forget what the last word I said was. Sorry, whole, complete, and
Happy.
Happy. And I also think love.
happy.
Yeah, love. I am loved.
I am loved. Yeah, yeah. I have mixed feelings about using happy, even though I used it, because I know there are lots of days that we're not happy,
Yeah.
and I, you know, feel free if you do that to use a different word, because some days we can't always achieve happiness, but loved would be a great substitute for that. So I just wanted to apologize for using happy, because I know that doesn't fit everybody.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. You know, the power of it is that we get to choose the words. And so these are the words that are inspiring us to think about what are the words that are right for us. And I am enough, as Ashley has written in the chat room, is wonderful. And I also think it is connecting to the memory too. So if you see someone that has something that you miss, I wonder if it's that exercise where you connected to the memory and you bring that memory. And so maybe you connect to that through a memory. And
Right.
maybe it's the gratefulness for, you know, I mean, I think this can be a tough one, but maybe there's just some grateful for having that love.
Right. I think that's really important to, you know, when you are able to think about the gratitude for the love you did have, or the relationship you did have, even if it's not either available to you or in the same form anymore. Because, you know, as we talk about in our group, the relationship continues, even though the person's gone. It's just different.
So the last one I'll ask you about is the sense of feeling robbed in your life, having a sense of unfairness around how your life has unfolded. And I'm wondering if there's a movement to help with that feeling. Is there a movement that is about balance?
There is not. I wonder if there should be.
Yeah, because I think that's part of it too, this idea that I am out of balance in my life because I got robbed.
Right.
Because there's an unevenness in my world because I'm missing this. And I wonder if there's a way to balance it out. I miss, I receive. I miss, I receive. What do you think?
Sure. I think you could easily do that with hand motions, you know, like could even be I miss, I receive.
Oh, yeah, I miss.
I miss, I receive.
Yeah, yeah.
That part's not there. This part's coming in.
Yes, right. And it's the acknowledgement of what you miss. What's so powerful about these movements is they really attach to a word, which is what we're always struggling to identify, which is why do I feel this way? What is it that I feel? Even when I've been asking you for examples of the movements, I've been struggling to find the right words to describe that emotion. And I love that these movements attach to a word that could be so helpful for us.
Right. And sometimes the movements will take the place of the word. If the word, you're feeling something, but you don't know what it is, oh, let's do this. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better,
I'm curious, Kathy, what's your favorite movement?
The appreciation, the remembering the love, the appreciation, where I remember the memory of my friend and bring it into my heart. And also actually the one we started with, which was the dedication, because I think sometimes, we think about the person all the time, but it's nice to just go, I'm dedicating this to this person. I'm dedicating this activity, or I'm dedicating this day, or, I'm dedicating this, organizing of the things they've left behind or something to this person. I think that's really powerful to just keep them present.
What I also love about these movements is they relate to any loss we're feeling. So we've really been specific to the loss of someone in our life, but there are other losses, and we can use the movements with those losses. So I've shared this a couple times, and that is I had a friend who became really angry with me over the winter, and she would not talk to me. She just ghosted me. So I was just like, I don't know what I did that made you so angry. And I would wake up at 4:30 pretty much every night. And so I finally did a Google search. What does it mean if you're waking up at 4 or 4:30? And it was grief will wake you up. Sadness will wake you up. So because of this movement therapy that Kathy has introduced me to, I then decided, well, now that I know if it's grief, I can actually do a movement. So what I would do in bed was just give myself a hug. And what they did was relaxed me, and then I was able to fall asleep. So these movements are so accessible for us throughout our day. Even in the middle of the night, I could give myself a hug, attach to the loves, lessen my stress, and then go back to sleep. So it was the acknowledgement of my grief, taking care of myself within that grief, and then being able to fall asleep.
That makes me so happy, Denise. I'm so glad.
Okay, so I'm actually going to stop the recording and then start us up again as we go to our next panel discussion.